everyone, welcome again to the channel today for another video on GT Sport. And in the first video today we're going to be doing a track guide in the Group 4 car. For this guide I'm using the Megane at the Blue Moon Bay Infield Circuit A. This was the daily race that was on the other day. I've got some races to come up for this, which probably will be out tomorrow. I'm going to do the Nürburgring Super GT race later today. That'll be out later on, and just wanted to get this track guide out. It's a fairly short lap. This car is very nice around this track. It was very close between this, the Porsche Cayman. I think the Mazda also very close in terms of its speed, along with possibly the Mitsubishi Evolution. I think would be reasonably close in terms of lap time to this car. The one thing with this track guide is this car is going to be braking very late, probably a little bit later than some of the other cars, so bear that in mind. If you're using a different car, you may have to just make them braking distance a little bit longer than what I'm showing you here for this car. But I really enjoy driving this car here, a really thoroughly enjoyable car to drive, and that's why I'm using this for the track guide. It was the most popular car used, so I wanted to get the most commonly car used to do the track guide. So going through to turn 1, I actually prefer taking a lower line than going up really high on this corner. A lot of people stayed really up high, but I found that it affected this Megane as soon as you hit the bump down below. So you see there, starting to brake at this point very early before you go to the dip in the track, and you want to aim very tight. In that dip there, I found if you went too high, it unstabilized the car too much, so I like to do it a little bit lower down. And then once you feel you're into the apex fairly, comfortably, I felt like getting on that power really early helped out with the lap time. You can see there, you've got the banked part of the track on the right hand side, which really does help if you do start running wide. You have the option to give it a lift, but I didn't feel the need to give it a lift on this lap. As you can see there, running up high, letting that camber keep you on the track nicely. And then for this corner, just a very quick dab of the brake in, while you're in 4th gear. Don't put too much braking pressure on, just a quick little dab like that, and then into this corner very tight over the apex there, taking some of the corner off, and stay as close to the left hand side of the track as possible. You need to keep the car to this left hand side, because this next corner you're going to swing it in as quickly as possible. You see there now another just a quick little bit of brake pressure put on there again, very similar to how we did that other corner, a little bit more maybe. And then down, staying in 4th gear, and try and take some of that right hand part of the corner off. You want to get your right hand tyre onto that grey bit of tarmac, and then on the power as early as possible to gain as much speed now into the next braking zone, which I look for the first part of the shadow on that bridge there. That first line that goes across the track is where I start braking with this car, maybe a bit shorter in a bit longer in other cars. Down into 2nd gear, and again I like to stay very tight to this apex, staying as close as possible to curb, get your right and front tyre onto the curb if possible, and then start slowly feeding the power back in. Don't just put maximum power, and you see there I'm slowly feeding it in. Once I feel comfortable putting the power down, I get the full power on, and even then I was very close to being a little bit early, but got it pretty much perfect. And now you need to get the car over to the right hand side of the track for the next 2 left hand corners, which are fairly tight. But again, I like to keep the car as close to the left hand curb as possible and not run it too far wide. You'll see there, down into 2nd gear, and again I take very tight line through these corners. I find the shorter distance works for myself, rather than taking a wide entry and then going for more exit speed. I prefer going in quite tight to that apex, and then on the power very early as you can, and then into 4th gear. And now this corner is really important to carry the speed through the corner. I just give it a slight little lift off the throttle just before that 50 board on the right hand side, and then try and get your left hand tyre as close to that wall as possible. You've got to really risk it on the qualifying lap, maybe not so much in the race, but you can still get fairly close to it in the race. And do not lift on the exit, just keep the power down and have faith that it will stay on the track. Sometimes it won't, sometimes you'll push too hard or you'll hit the curb in a way that will bounce that car out. But if you do it perfect and you get it right, you gain so much time in exit speed from that corner that you're travelling a lot faster down the straight. You gain about 2/10 from it. So you can see there, going over the line with a 1 minute 11.0. That was good enough to put me into 6th place in the top 10 stars. So it was a fairly good lap, and it was good enough to start at the front 2 places in the races, in the top split races, pretty much every race has started. So I'm going to let you guys watch the lap from this view now, so if you're on a control pad, just so you see how it plays out with that view rather than in the car. I obviously play with it in the car. You can see there, very close to the wall, and trying to cut the corner. You can see the difference here now, cutting into the corner there in full speed, and then this corner again, going into this corner, and again cut the corner. You'll see it on this view now. You really have to attack that corner. It allows you to cut the corners on this track, which I actually think works, because the way the track is, risking getting close to the wall, it really does pay off. And I like the way the wall's there. If you risk too much, you end up getting punished, especially on that final corner. It's a really tricky one, that final corner. And then going down to second gear, you see there, nice and tight in on the apex, and then on the power early, and you can see there, using the curb on the right hand side to widen, as much exit as possible, and then you see there, using a bit of the curb, and then throwing it into that corner. You can see I actually got that pretty much perfect and skimming the wall. Just a few inches left before hitting that wall. Got it pretty much as perfect as you can get that. I couldn't have carried much more speed through that corner. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that very quick track guide. I did enjoy this track and the races at this track. I do enjoy driving this track in general. It's really fun. But in the Megane, I enjoyed it a little bit more, as I really do enjoy driving the Megane. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Click that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. I do upload it every single day. I've got another upload coming later today. I did want to get this Nürburgring out last night, but I didn't have time, so it's going to be out later tonight. The Super GT Nürburgring race, a very good race, so make sure you check that out on the channel later on today. Thanks again for watching, everyone.